Mighty God, we lift up our government leaders to you. Give them wisdom, integrity, and a heart for justice. Help them to lead with compassion and humility, always seeking the common good. Protect them from the temptations of power, selfish ambitions, and corruption, and guide them in making decisions that honor you. Refresh them as they lead and serve, and we pray they would be guided by the Holy Spirit. May our prayers support them in their roles and bring unity and cooperation for the betterment of our country. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Miller. Havels.
Here.
Stewart. Here. Knowles. Here. Ratliff.
Here.
And Dave just absent. He was here and he had a few emergencies, so.
You're fine. If everybody wants to take a minute to look at July's minutes. Motion to accept or revise or whatever.
I'll make a motion to accept them.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any conversation? If not, all those that agree, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Alright, motion passes. And then August 10th, approval of the minutes. Okay, second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed, same sign. Alright, motion carries. Okay, old business is our water and sewage ordinance amending. Oh, okay, we'll go back to that. We'll review that here. From the floor, Jennifer Shuffle.
Okay, so I had posted, a month ago, about doing a farm market, community market, and we are wanting to see if we'd be able to use the park on Saturday mornings to do that. I'm not sure what all we need to do.
I called insurance.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't have a time to apprise him of the details.
Okay.
So I called the insurance company because, some insurances require extra additions. So what our insurance policy is that you as the coordinator and others doing the market would be responsible for your insurance, and, our village would just cover for negligence items, such as if we have big rocks out there you tripped on or something, minor like that. Well, not minor, but, anyways, you would need to get a policy for yourself, and you can call your insurance company. I know we did it for the carriage rides during Willshire days and stuff, and they said that's exactly what they need to do. So you just call your insurance company and add for a little addition, of insurance, and then how you cover that cost-wise would be up to you.
Okay, so, like during Wilshire days, I had a couple friends that are vendors down there, did they have to do that?
I'm not sure on the vendors, I just know that the carriage rides were something, but this was straight from our insurance company, so with the farmer's market, that is what they said, that was verbatim from Stolly Insurance.
Okay. 'Cause- So each vendor would have to have their own insurance then, correct?
Unless you wanna do a group policy, I don't know
We're
how you wanna do
not
that,
forming an
so.
LLC, we're just trying to do like a community market where everybody can come and set up, we're trying to keep it free for everybody to come and do and just do donation.
And I'm in process of communicating with the solicitor about if you would sign an affidavit for that. And I don't know how you would want to do that as a council. I mean, if they do require an affidavit of at least the organizer to sign it, or if you want all the vendors to sign it, I don't know how you want to do that. I guess I can add that to the solicitor's question.
From what I had found online looking at it, you would have each vendor sign that they're responsible for their own.
Okay,
So that's what I found for other community markets.
for their insurance, you mean?
For if anybody has anything happen right there with them or any of their product or anything, 'cause we're trying to keep it as simple as possible, so you say it can be something that everybody can enjoy, everybody can come and set up, there's not a cost involved to them unless they wanna donate. So it might
well,
be.
then,
So I'm not sure,
I'll share that with the solicitor.
okay,
That sounds reasonable to what I've heard from the insurance.
right.
When are you wanting to do it?
We're wanting to do Saturday mornings, like, probably what, April, May, I don't know, the spring to fall,
Are you thinking like every Saturday
Yeah.
or just,
every Saturday 9 to 1,
And it would just be like open, like anybody could
Yeah.
come bring,
yes.
it's kind
yeah,
of.
I love it, I think it's an awesome idea.
'Cause
I'm
we're-
excited.
We're not thinking of having like any food trucks or anything like that, we're trying to keep it as simple as possible, so that not everybody has to go and look into all these different laws and everything to be involved in it.
Would you be opposed to having food trucks, stuff like that? Cause a lot of them will carry their own insurance and all that.
See, and I'm not sure of how that works, I would think that they're carrying their own insurance and stuff, I'm not sure of how it would work.
Yeah.
Cause I don't wanna have to form an LLC for it, I don't wanna have to file taxes for it,
I would think.
Unless it
food trucks
gets
would
I
be
see.
self-sustained.
I
Yeah.
would think
If you
so
don't
too,
know. I would
I'm
think
just not sure
So
either.
my brother's just got his trailer together, I know he has to get his own insurance, he filed his own LLC and all that stuff like that, so.
Yeah, and they sell vendor insurance, it's like $10 a month to do a that's why I was asking if the vendors can just have their own, everybody signs a waiver whenever they come, that they're a vendor and,
I think that's an awesome idea, I love the idea.
I'm really excited.
so yeah.
Waste for vegetables, people's gardens.
So you're thinking, it wouldn't start this fall, it'll be next.
I don't know if we would try doing like a couple of them yet this year, just to kind of see how it goes and see if we are gonna have a lot, cause if so, then we could form the LLC, we could do all that, I just don't wanna do it for like 10 people.
Right.
And have to file the taxes on it and everything else. Cause I know that part of it, cause I do accounting. So, that's where I'm at on that fact, and I've looked into a lot of it, I don't know all the rules to doing, like, that's why we're calling it a community market instead of a farmer's market, cause they're completely different rules. Completely different stipulations to them.
I love your
So-
dog, it's so cute.
So, yeah, I mean, that's what we're trying to do, and just trying to, we thought if we did it in the community park, that would help, because then we had the bathrooms and,
Parking.
yeah, there's parking, kids can play.
Yeah.
And I think you talked about I'm only interjecting because she shared some things with me,
Yeah.
but the pavilion by the restrooms is where
If
you
we
would
needed it.
start first.
Well, I
and then
think
you
most
could-
people would have their own tents and stuff, I would think, but if it was bad weather, or if people wanted to sit down and talk or whatever, the pavilion would be good.
I think it's something if we could ask them a simple release waiver from the people that are attending, saying that Willshire is not liable for any accidents that happen in their area or at the park for people coming, be sufficient.
Well, I don't know, I mean, how many people are gonna come and not even see one of those or sign one?
Does anybody know what Rockford does?
That's what I was just wondering.
That was gonna be my next question.
How they,
They have a different insurance company.
Right.
And they have to add a large amount, dollar-wise, of, insurance coverage for that market to be there. Now, Amy Knoll would be the one to contact, you could do it via Facebook, she would guide you on that, I'm sure, she
Okay.
even commented, I think, a little bit, or
Yeah, I can't
liked it or
remember.
something. I think
I
she
think so,
touched base
too.
with it and she thought it was great because then some of theirs might be there here on
And I know-
one day and there on the other.
Some of the others from Decatur said they would be willing to come and set up, and I know the guy from Ohio City said that he would. So I think we would have a good turnout, it's just,
Plenty of traffic that goes by.
yeah, and that's what we were thinking with Saturday mornings would be great, especially during summer, they head over to the lake and.
I think as long as the legal aspect is covered, it's an amazing idea. Just have to cover the legal part of it.
Right.
But other than that, I think it's an amazing idea because it gets more people to Wilshire.
Yeah, and I think it would be good for like all the other small shops and everything in town.
I think the one in Las Vegas, you charge them like $10 to set up, so even if we did have a cost, I think people pay $10
Yeah.
to set up.
Thank you for like coming up with that and organizing and.
I think it would be neat to do for the whole community.
Absolutely.
So if we submit that question to the solicitor, we should have an answer of how that would look by the next meeting
Oh, yeah, by the 14th.
we should have an answer by the 14th then.
Cause we were thinking maybe we could do one or two of them yet this fall, at least, and, because most of them go into October.
Yeah.
And I know I've had a couple people ask, well, what about winter? Is there any place that we'd be able to do it during the winter? Inside, and I'm like, I don't know, somebody had said something about the old fire station once they're moved, or if we could talk to the church and see about doing a winter market there, maybe not every week, but, cause you still have all the crafts and everything, cause that's what I do, crafts and soaps and
I'll talk to
crocheting and stuff.
Pastors at Brisbane,
Okay,
that's where it goes,
I think that's a phenomenal way to get
They
to
have-
Wilshire,
they have big in there.
yeah,
which is exactly
Yeah, I
what
know
you're
they
trying to
do.
do. Yeah, I think we get the answer for the legal part from the solicitor and then we have an answer for it in the next meeting.
okay, that will work.
If the timetable fits.
Oh, yeah, I'll have an answer within 48 hours once I send it, so it'll be by the end of the.
Cause they can help draft that release form.
Yeah, that's what, I wasn't sure, and I know a couple people offered to send me forms, I'm like, I need to find out legally what we have to do.
And that's the only question.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
Do you have a digital copy of this?
I do, kind
Because
of.
you could put, once
There's
that gets
more
approved,
copies here
once it gets
too,
approved, we can
that's
put that
Yeah,
on,
let's just say, just
Yeah.
if I had a digital copy and
put on the social media.
Right,
Yeah, absolutely.
which I can do that.
A really good idea. Thank you.
And they probably won't bring like pre-bought cookies like everyone.
I'm doubting that, I've had a few people that are bakers, I do baking, but I don't do a lot of it anymore, so, I do homemade bread and stuff like that for us.
When do you bake up?
That was for you.
That was,
Yes.
no, if it was for me, it'd be sloppy joes.
There's quite a few bakers.
Okay, then, Billy.
I'm just saying.
Just that you do like those.
I do, a lot, actually.
Thank you, Jennifer, that's an awesome idea.
You're welcome.
Alright.
Oh, goodness.
We'll skip Jeff here, Brian's not here. Fiscal officer.
Okay, I'll go quickly. Rita is our 1% income tax. This is nothing new. They sent a letter that they've reached out a couple times in the last few years for a copy of our ordinance, which I cannot locate. They don't have a copy of it, and they have 6 years of stuff on the website. So you can go on and look at VMworks, you know, if they do it, or if that's an example. I don't know if they're on there, but there's a lot of cities and villages that utilize the RETA 1% income tax collecting. I cannot find it. They have sent one to us, an example, which I will also, with your permission, send to the solicitor. It's just a recommended, they needed to be updated. There was a new one. Someone told me they saw one, they thought 2006, signed by Sharon Pearl, but I'm not able to locate it. I will keep looking, but that I'm sure has been updated. And then in 14 or 16, it was asked another statewide update. I think in Rita also asked for an update. I can't find any copies of the ordinance because it's not in the resolution book, it's not in the ordinance book. I'm not sure what else to look. I've looked through files, but all the RETA files I find are from 2012 or whatever. I did find a book of it from 2014, but it's not a signed copy. It was like it was an example. So, I will send that, with your permission, the recommended one to the solicitor, and, then we'll bring that forward on September 14th, if that's okay for you guys to, put it through. It'll be 3 readings for an ordinance, so if that's okay with you, I will move forward with that. It's a must. I mean, that's where we get a lot of our monies, our revenues, so, I will do that. Okay, is that, do you need to do a vote on it? Or I'll just move forward and then you can do the votes for that, so. Everyone in their packet's got a welcome to Willshire paper, and it already has some things that need added, such as email, website, Facebook page. And I didn't know, if we would include copies of, the top 3 or 5 ordinances too. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time anyway, so, this is just with new people that come in, to the village, so they know. And, yeah, and we renew also, and, I get it. So if you have additions or whatever, you can look over it, you can text me if you want something changed on it, by all means.
I just have one quick one that I saw just off the top where it says the Mayhard's trash.
To add the other ones.
I would add on there, just specifically, I would just say, not exclusive to Mayhard's, there are other options, or you could say, this is an option, but others are available. That way we're not saying you must use this,
Right.
so I would put other options are available.
Yeah, and they can do some.
Just as a blanket statement, so that people know that they don't have to use them.
Okay, I'll add that for sure. And I am not opposed to input on this. I drew it up quickly, I'd done one for our renter, and, added to it, of course, but, oh, yes, I meant to do that, Brad said, the, text.gov thing, text.gov needs added on there too. And see, that's what it takes many to get it together here, so, and we don't have to give them all right now. I don't wanna hold up the meeting too much. Okay, I did also in your packet, I included, I think, is there one for the questionnaire for the cemetery? Maybe I didn't. Nope, I did not. Well, I was still in process of working on it. So there's a little form you fill out when someone calls and, you know, whether it be a family member or for the funeral home with someone that passes, and you fill it out. Well, I've updated that, but there was also an issue with, I guess, of urgency, and I got interrupted multiple times, and then Lisa was here, so I couldn't get to my computer. I was gonna print off what I handed you last month about the cemetery, and then have the red print of all the suggestions. It would behoove you, as a council probably, to get this started with an updated ordinance on that, and Lisa suggested to include the price increases that you want to do. And, you know, tonight was about water sewer, so put that as your homework maybe, you know, however you wanna do it. But I didn't get another copy printed for you because I would have had to do it at home, and I wasn't home today. So, but to get things in order, and I do have some suggestions, such as, let's see. Okay. I had a couple new things thrown at me right before the meeting, so I apologize. Number one, we have to have the permit before we can move forward with anything, a burial permit. And someone had, there's gonna be a funeral in the near future, and they called and they choreographed the whole funeral themselves. And, so it was not through a funeral home or whatever, and that was one of the top couple things that, I called John Zwick back, and a couple of the top things that he suggests was, that all funerals should go through a funeral home, and that if you want to designate like one certain grave digger to be utilized at all times, rather than someone getting their own and saying, I want them to dig the grave, that you lay it all out there. There were a few more suggestions, which I can put together for you from him, and if you look at all the red highlights and decide which ones you want on that new ordinance that we compile, and it can be a work in progress. Lisa said the first reading would be with all your critiques, and then you can review it, and the next reading, if you decide, well, we wanna add this too, you can do that, and the third one can be corrections from the first reading of the ordinance. So it can be a work in progress, and that's just to review it each time. And I'm just being clear on that because Lisa just explained that all to me. But there are some things that are definite that we want to do, such as the funeral home needs to be involved, because it almost fell through the cracks about the permit with this one coming up, and they got their own urn and vault, and so, and that was okay. It was okay. It was just a matter of the measurements, the weight, and so then now Dealey's are going to be digging it because of the weight of the vault. And then also the lot owner. That was another thing. He said you need to make sure who owns that lot, and if you're going to put parameters on there about only the owners can be buried there, and there were suggestions that, you know, well, what if a mama and baby die in childbirth, or sad thought, but can they be buried together, as some are, but he had suggested maybe only husband and wife, and you know, do you wanna put parameters on that? But I think some of those suggestions were highlighted on that other paper that I handed out to you last meeting. So that's just on a back burner for right now, but I think it would behoove us to move forward with that and get that settled. There were a few more bullets of information I'll have prepared for you next time. And you can check them off or scratch them out, whatever, but I'll have it all prepared for you next time, if that's okay.
I do think those were probably two of the most important things that he talked about, was
Yeah.
having the funeral home
At
involved,
least-
just
at least
because we
either at
don't
least-
know all the rules and regulations.
Right.
And then the, one person digging, just because
I think we
someone
have
else
to
can
set a
come in and make
standard.
ruts and,
It has to be
Yeah.
a standard, and it has to be done by the law, so
right.
I don't think there's any way you do it without a funeral home, without opening yourself up to liability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so either a funeral home or at least.
That's what I'm saying, I don't.
Service.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so that's another homework. Another thing to think about, the new copier is ready, new copier scanner fax is ready, to, be delivered, but I'm still awaiting the phone system. We have an updated modem and router because they found that those were over 10 years old. They had a surveyor come, and so they redid that, and that was in preparation for the new phone number, or not new phone number, but the new phone. But then they found the cable was also, the coax was damaged, so they repaired that too. So we are ready, it's just a process, and they said, oh, it usually takes about a week, but we're at a week and a half, we're at 10, 11 days. So I'm trying to be patient, but what are we gonna do with the old printer? Maybe open bid, whatever.
I make a motion that we put it here and let it be for public access during office hours in case people need to come up and make copies for their own personal documentation.
That's a good idea.
Because it still works,
Yeah.
And if people in here, you know, anyone who doesn't have a copier or, older people in general, I'm not saying come in here and copy off 150 pages. But I mean, if someone needs to make a couple copies, rather than having to run to Decatur or run to Rockford or whatever, within reason, we could make it available to the public during office hours to make personal copies without charge.
Well, I think you'd have to set a minimal charge.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, even if it's 10 cents a
or
copy.
whatever it is, but I'm saying, so that, that's
So
my,
we would furnish the paper.
I think so,
The Photo Star does it also,
okay.
but it's not free. It's just a,
Well, maybe we provide the paper and it's 10 cents a copy.
Yeah, I'm with Denise, I think just to put, because if you did do even if it's 10 cents copy, I don't know that you would have to limit it so much, do you know
That's
what I
what I'm
mean?
saying, yeah. I think we supply the paper and the copier during business hours, and it's 10 cents a copy.
Do we have somewhere we can put it? Like, is there a corner, or maybe that there could be a little table and the copier put on?
Only because we can't take public funds and give them away.
there's
So
a,
we can buy paper.
Right.
So
I'm
we
sure
have-
we
That's what I'm
can
saying,
somehow.
I mean, I'm sure we can find a place to put it, but I think that also allows people to make copies that can't, easier access to it, and we use something for a better purpose than just giving it away or filling it out. That's, I mean,
You wanna
no.
make a motion?
I make a motion that we use it for the public during business hours. We supply the copier and the paper, and it's 10 cents a copy, and we're available for use during office hours.
I would say, as long as it works and when it
When it dies.
dies.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, for as long as it functions, I mean, we're not gonna put money into it if it breaks, but for as long as it is a functioning copier, shall we say. I just think that's the best use of it.
I do too.
It's a good idea.
Good idea.
We got a motion?
Motion by Havel, seconded by Ratliff.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Follow up on the Hearts cards. These are accurate, these were not supposed to be here. They're all color coded, and so the color was a picture that showed that, they were supposed to be somewhere else. They weren't sure how we got them. But, anyways, it is for each item you put out, you get a card. So if you have a washer and a couch and a love seat or whatever, you would have to buy 3 cards. And they would have to be taped on there. And I have them all stamped with Willshire on the back. And, then the money, they would buy the cards here, and they can't sneak stuff into the washing machine, or it'll be left, or, you know, stuff like that. It's for each item as, and it's not a real good copy, but, anyways, that's how they work. And they left a big stack here, so, zoning could even suggest that for someone if they're having trouble getting rid of some of these, so.
That would be nice, once I don't know if it already is something we could do right now. Like,
Absolutely,
that would
it's
be
ready
nice
to
to
go.
put, out on Facebook or the website too. I'm gonna tell you what, to be able to get a refrigerator for $10.
You can't beat
We should
that.
get a copy of one that
Yeah.
is not washed out.
Does anybody wanna look at this?
No, I got it.
Anybody wanna?
Irish, if I-
We all got them.
I was asking, so if we wanna look at that, what they offer?
Okay, I'll just get rid of it.
I got a full.
So and all you do is put it on the curb. With that on Saturday morning when they pick the garbage up.
Yeah.
That's right from my car.
Gas.
Okay. Okay, and then the biggest thing is for the water shut off with all the bills that are outstanding yet. We were actually at more of a 30,000 in arrears, and we are down to under 23. So we've caught up over $7,000. suggested, and it's verbatim what he said on his suggestions. So, this is a mock-up, but this is what it would look like, and it would have to be hand-delivered, and they have 14 days. To catch up, so. Good news is several houses have sold in the village for new residents. One is going to be one is, for sure is a flip, but they're planning on fixing it up and reselling, and maybe a second one, and then one is for, new residents, so we're moving forward.
Said house on South Street sold, so, well, says sold.
Okay. Somebody told me the sign was taken away, but is there with the sold
Yeah,
now?
just, yeah.
Okay, good deal, good deal. So, there were 3, so that's great.
I have a question about this, like, just this, work order. So the amount due to avoid shut off, is it a full, like they have to pay it in full in 14 days? Okay,
Down to a 0 balance.
okay.
How much grace have we already given on these? Just picking up speed.
June, July, August.
May,
months.
June,
Yeah.
July, August.
We're creeping up on 90 days.
Okay.
Oh, we're past
So a
90.
lot.
Yeah, it's 120 actually, and some one is a bad check, and their total now is over $2,000, and it's for water, sewer, and, so they've gotten into this grace period that we've done, and, of no penalties or fees either.
Okay, so this is all just taking place over the summer?
No,
Okay.
no, it was 30,000 was,
That's
around when we came in May.
Okay. that's
And
where we're at.
it's increased substantially.
So who's going to hand deliver or post the notices on the properties?
Water superintendent,
That's what I'm asking.
I think that's what it is.
That's what I would assume, but I'm asking. Cause you don't have a school statement.
I think it's the water superintendent.
That would be Junior.
Would you need a second person?
I would say I wouldn't go alone.
Yeah, I would think at least 2.
Do we have someone, who's on water?
Jenny,
Oh, you mean on BPA?
or on everybody from council on water.
Water,
I would just think it would be the water superintendent and one member of
BPA?
BPA or council.
So, time-wise, that 14 days will be about at your next meeting, because they're due to be reconciled by September 1st. And I would suppose that, I'm hoping we'll get a big drop.
So September 1st, the notices need to go out, be delivered, or be posted on the doors. September 1st. That's
Well,
the date we give them.
we gave them till September 1st, yeah.
So,
Did you wanna buy the 1st or the 2nd? Or,
well,
I'm just asking.
technically they'd have through the first end of business day that you gave them till the 1st. So it'd have to be the 2nd. So.
I would say that the letter goes out the 2nd of September.
Mhm. So, I could make a motion that the letters be either hand delivered or posted to the property September 2nd with a 14-day notice. And on the 14th day, technically the 15th, cause they'd have all the way through the 14th day, business day.
So say that part again, I'm sorry, I didn't
Well,
catch
if they
the
have
second part.
14 days to pay it, technically you'd have to shut it off on the 15th day, because they'd have all the way through the business day. A business days would be considered the whole day.
So
The
Shut down the
15th day,
16th, then.
it'd be the 15th day, right?
yeah,
Well, depending on if it fell,
depending on when it falls, then it would be 15 calendar days after the letter goes out.
yes.
After.
So let's look at the calendar.
But that would be different every month.
Well, we're gonna do the second.
So the second, so 8,
So it does the 16th.
15 would be the 16th.
16th, yeah.
14 days.
Or the 17th, is it after the second? After the second, after the
They have all the
second
way through the 16th, that's the 14th day, so the 17th
would be the, yeah,
would be the.
that's what I showed it up to.
Shut
So
off
the
on the
letters,
17th.
so the letters will go out on the 2nd,
The
and
second.
the shut off will happen on the 17th.
So go door to door.
You either go door to door and hand deliver them if the person's there, or they will be taped on the door
Yep.
of the property.
That's why they need 2 people.
Yeah.
Take a picture, or
And the colored paper was
Yeah,
suggested.
They'll need it colored.
Toilet paper, and then if they're not there, then a picture of the notice on the door will be taken for
Yeah,
documentation.
so let's make in the notes that a photo will be taken in
Mhm.
case people go by and they see people taking pictures.
Yep.
That we will have to have proof that it was taped on the door.
Yep.
So that would be the water superintendent and whoever lit them, one of those two would need to have that photo for the file.
Maybe put in there a picture of the note on the door only.
Yeah, oh, clearly.
Just to cover bases, so that
Yeah.
they know that the picture will be taken, but it'll be of their door.
You want that on here?
I would say door of,
Yeah.
of the door area where, you know what?
Be respectful.
Of the door area where the notice is posted.
Yeah.
That way it's completely clear. Of the door area where the notice is posted.
so each one you drop, are you gonna write that address on there?
It'll be
It'll be on
on each
there.
one, it's
Yeah.
already on
It's
there.
on there.
Yeah,
It's on there.
this is like 1, 2, 3 Water Sewer Lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Amazon does, same thing FedEx does. Every delivery company does the same thing.
Posted on the door.
Heck, when Amazon drops a package at my house, they take a picture of the whole back of my garage for a package this big.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor.
I second.
Okay, any discussion on who, well, we know who is going to live in. Any discussion on anything else?
So they need to be done, do we have any estimate how many there are? Like, can this be done in a day? I don't, are there 10, are there 50? Can this be done in one day?
Well, there were 50 delinquents
Like,
and about
Right, like, can you
7
do
to
that
10 have been
physically in one
paid.
day?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, that
okay.
would be the thing.
If you're prepared, you
If
know,
you're
they're all
prepared for all the
ready.
notices and you go out in the morning,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but Brian's got other things to
Right,
tend to.
right.
Would leaves me, but who's gonna go with me?
I'll go with you.
Good work.
Yeah, come get me.
What's the second?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Oh, yeah,
So it could be up to 40, I would say. Because it was
Or-
50 last month, it
Or
was 50.
possibly half that, you know,
Yeah,
ideally half that or less.
I'm hoping.
It may only
yes,
take
Yeah.
an hour, you don't know.
Correct.
Yep.
I know, oh, wait a minute, Michelle, I was gonna say, I do know it's been publicized different places, but can we just re-put it on the village Facebook page?
Yeah, that's what, I'm taking
The
notes, I'm taking
website
notes
is-
of like,
Are you gonna
We need to
put
put
that,
it in the photo star again, like should it go in another?
Are you gonna put that on there?
I'm gonna put this and.
Did it get put after the last meeting? I didn't
The
see it.
both?
So you can read the photo star.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be in September. That'll be already delivered by the time that
Wow.
comes to.
I could do the text.gov and the
Do
Facebook.
the text on, 27, yeah, cause it would be, it won't have time to come up, but we could do Facebook, village website,
you-
text.gov.
You may put on Facebook or a website that notices will be posted on doors. Or hand delivered, that might lessen our 50.
Coming in before that.
I wouldn't wanna notice on one.
And again, I reiterate that it was an erroneous change, that the date was August 1st, but the due date is always the 20th. It says that on the bills somewhere else, I think on the back where the rules are and stuff,
mean,
but.
And there's also been 90 days of notice. So this isn't a shock, this isn't a surprise. This is coming up on 3 months of what's gonna happen. So I don't think anybody at this point, whether it be social media, word of mouth, or postings, can say honestly, I've never heard of this before. That's not possible. So there's no excuse to not know about this. You can't claim ignorance. That's not a defense.
And there were a couple that were elderly or ill that have been followed up on. So those, those have been taken care of. So it's, as far as that we're aware of, no one has shared another grievance or anything, but the two have been followed up on.
And for me, I'm not speaking for all the council, I find no joy in doing this, but I also know the village can't run $20,000 in arrears, so I just want to.
Well, I mean, a 3 months grace was given.
Yeah,
I don't know how much more accommodating you can be.
right, it's just, it's a lose-lose, so.
And there were no fees, late fees
Yes.
or
Yeah,
penalties.
we forgave the late fees, we forgave the shut-offs, and we gave 3 months.
And that's one thing I haven't had to do yet, and I'm ready to train somebody, but I don't know how to do that because we haven't been doing it. But, the 20th is the due date, so do those fees start on the 21st, or do you wait till the next month's bill? How do you do that? So I will have to check on that. I'm not sure. Does it start on a certain day after the bill's late?
Well,
Can't remember what it says on the bill.
we graced them through this month, so late fees will start September.
Absolutely.
But I mean in
He's
general
asking
then on
for
the next
sure.
month, because there's a lot of
What
people that
Yes.
habitually do not pay until the
Yeah.
30th or whatever, so.
I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't circumstances that arise, but I mean, the bills due the same day every month. And like every other bill. And I'm sorry, it's a bill, you owe it, you used it. Like, I mean, at what point, it's just an abuse of the system. So,
I'm just clarifying for the job.
Yeah.
I mean, so we do it properly, so.
What is,
Go ahead.
let's say, do we have, you said before, we could have it automatically taken out for those of us.
And that application got sent in last week, and they asked for a little more, they asked for a little more information for the users that are gonna be handling it, which, may be changing, but they said it'll be a transition this time, it won't be a shut off. It'll be a transition, they just need to change the names and whatever. So once we get it established, I'm hoping to get that done for September, please, I'm working on that. Truly, it's my goal. But we do take credit card too, so somebody can call that in if they are behind, they're more than welcome to do that, so.
When the ACH is signed up for it.
I'm sure,
Okay.
I'm sure, because it's all.
We just have to, we just have to make sure people know that.
Yeah, as soon as I get the go-ahead, we're gonna move forward, but I'm trying to be patient. I'm more
think
worried about.
Corey and I were talking, and I think we have one more suggestion, that might encompass anyone that has disability checks or gets paid at the end of the month, where the 20th falls the week before they get paid. I would say that it's still due on the 20th, but late fees don't start incurring until the next month starts. Because if you get your check the 27th or 28th, you're gonna automatically be late every month. So that also eliminates that possibility of people who get a once a month government check at the end of the month from having to pay a late fee just because of when they get the check. So that just makes it completely fair in my mind. So I think it's still due the 20th, but the late fees occur the first of the next month.
So they're gonna basically
Start
get
first
a 10-day
You'll get a 10-day grace
or whatever.
before late fees are tacked onto the past due balance. That way everyone has time to pay it regardless of when they get paid. So just another way to be fair across the board, but also eliminate anyone who's being late due to something beyond their control. That's, I make a motion for that.
Second. Now, how are you going to figure out who these people are?
I think it'll be for everybody.
It's for everybody.
It's not
Everyone.
just
Everyone,
for anyone.
yeah.
It's
Do the
for
20th.
everybody.
If anybody new moves into Wilshire.
That way there's no confusion or no discrimination across the board. Do the 20th. Late fees start across the board the first of the next month.
And that, yeah, I'm with you with ever, I think it needs to be.
The first of the month, no matter, that way, no matter what your circumstance is, when you get paid, you know every month, it's due the 20th, and you know you have until the first of the next month to pay it without a penalty.
In most places, you can get a grace period.
And that way it's across the board fair for everybody, no matter what your situation is. You still owe the bill, but that eliminates any confusion of who gets paid without it being their fault.
So the 21st, come up late in the morning and check the box in case somebody dropped in
Right.
that night.
I mean, and that's just the fair way to do it across the board, so that no one is being penalized for something they can't control. Because like I said, if you get your check in the middle of the 4th week, you're always gonna be late and there's nothing you can do about it. So that way, if it's no late fees till the 1st, it's fair across and no one has any type of unfair advantage.
So did we finish this one? Did you finish that? Was that all together?
I don't know, did someone second my motion?
I seconded yours and then Corey seconded mine.
Right, but did you finish them? Did you vote on them? Did we?
You can read them again and we can vote.
Okay, so Noel's made a motion. The letters go out on the 2nd of September. Shut off will be the 17th. Notices will be on colored paper, the picture of the notice only, and with the words on. For proof will be done, reminders will be put on Facebook, text.gov, and the website. And it was seconded by Havel.
Correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, so all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And then the new one by Havel is, late fees start on the 1st of the next month. I think I'll just leave it that way, for everyone, for everyone. Seconded by Ratliff.
Discussion?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Sure.
So like, when is the next month's bill printed? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you have one that's due on August 20th, when does the September bill get printed? Just
That's a good
because you
thought.
you don't want, if they're not gonna pay till the 1st, you don't want that amount to automatically go on to the next month's bill. Like, do you know what I'm saying? You want it cleared off before that next bill comes out, or then it's always gonna look like they have a double payment due.
Yes.
I'm just wondering what day they're, what day do they run those bills? When do they?
Well, he reads the meters on the 27th, that's his goal. He's been pretty regimental.
Okay.
Junior has been very good and organized. He always wants to do it like on the 27th. So if there's a problem, it gives him a little bit more of a
Okay.
month, his routine that he's done. So,
I
with
just
that
wonder if
said,
they're printed, like, yeah.
well, but with that, when it's loaded, I gotta think, let me think about that. Some of that I haven't been able to correlate as to if it's taken off, but usually they're printed before the 1st of the month. Because the goal for Lisa was to have them out
No matter if it.
between the 1st and the 3rd, so they get there in time, that's a good thought.
So if they don't pay it till the 1st, the bill for the next month will already have been printed, so they're gonna have the August late plus the September, even if they come in and pay it on September first, is that, am I thinking right correctly? So whether it's change the reading day or the printing day, you know, just.
In my mind, I know, I don't wanna say the simple way to do that, but the way that would take care of that is to move the printing day of the new bills to the second of each month. And then you can add the late fee if it applies, and then you don't have to change anything else. I mean, if you send it out on the second, it takes, what, 2 days for everyone to get it, maybe? 3 at the most?
Sometimes a week.
Sometimes, you know, but I'm saying, you're still gonna get it, you're still gonna get it 3 weeks before it's due. So, I think we see about moving the print date to the second of the month, which then would do 2 things. 1, it eliminates any double billing, and 2, it will always show the accurate amount with the accurate amount of penalty, whether it applies or not. That way there's no confusion, and you're not double billing, and you're not double penalizing. Move it to the second, and it fixes all the problems. And you still have 3 weeks to pay it. Or 2 weeks to pay it, but it's still due on the 20th, so you know the due date's the same regardless. You really still have most of it, because if you're always paying it at the end of the month, you still have 3 weeks to pay it.
Right.
So even if we move the print date to the second, if people pay their bill at the 4th month, or the 4th week every month, then it will always be accurate regardless. So just because we move the print date up 3 or 4 days, doesn't give them less time, because if they're always paying it the 4th week anyway, nothing changes.
My question would be, if a circumstance comes up that somebody can't pay until the 3rd, do those fees compound each other? If it's printed on the 2nd, and they haven't paid last month yet? If we print on the 2nd, and are those fees gonna?
It will be added.
It will be added, yeah.
They just won't get that
But
portion
they
of the
would-
bill till the
Right,
next month.
it would be on the bill,
October.
but they would only owe for 1 month.
So it won't compound.
Correct, it won't compound, that's right.
So you want that added to the motion? Just so.
I think so, yes.
Okay, so.
I think the printing date of the water bill will move to the second of each month.
Just to avoid.
To avoid, yeah, put in there that the printing of the water bill will move to the second of the month to avoid any double billing due to a late payment.
Okay,
Figuring out all these angles.
so
is rough.
motion by Howell,
Lord,
still
I'm
seconded by
trying to
Recca.
Hmm?
Want to do the second of the month, Monday, probably.
Correct, yeah, let's make it more difficult.
That's what it means to be the accountant's done.
I agree.
Alright, so we got the motion, we got the second, any more discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That's about as fair as you can possibly be.
Yeah.
You can't make it any simpler than that.
Lost my, there we go. And I have one thing that was added. I noticed, that, I've been looking for that RETA ordinance, and I saw that we had emergency medical services that we do yearly for Ren EMS. It's a yearly contract is what we do. And the last one that we had was inserted in December of '23. So then, fortunately, Lisa was here and she looked it up, and on all those, it was, January payment, it was a yearly payment split in half, part of it in January, part of it in July. And, the one in December of '23 was for '24. So '25 and '26 are without contracts that I can find. Now, if they're here, they're not in the ordinance book as were the other ones.
So,
We did one since I've been on
he
council.
came in and talked to us, remember?
But that was our check, but that was in '23 or '24.
24 hours.
Well, it was December of '23, but it came in on '24.
Okay, so that was on council then.
and so I've been in touch, this just came about today, Chris High is now the one overseeing that. And he apologized, he hasn't been over here, but he thought there were contracts. But Lisa looked it up and they were paid as a yearly payment in each January. They were paid for the year in January of 25 and 26. So we were able to see we were paid. I don't have copies of the contracts. He's going to look. If he does, he will bring copies of those, but he's gonna speak at the September 14th meeting. He's asked to be a visitor so he can touch base, cause he hasn't been here. So that was just I'm like, well, where are the rest of these? And so I called him and he was able to call me, so I think that's all I have.
Okay. Council concerns? Kendra?
You know, just the conversation we had about the water bills made me think, I know there was some discussion about, maybe in lieu of having the bills mailed, we do an email due to the cost, you know, and it wouldn't have to be for everyone, but that we talked about maybe getting into the process of emailing bills. I don't know if that's for people that would want them emailed to them. I know we've had discussion, and so I'm just, cause Lisa had brought that up, you brought that to us under Lisa's suggestion, because a postcard, well, I think it's up to 60-some cents. Let alone if you email them, you don't have the opportunity of it getting lost and taking.
As long as they don't mark it in their spam folder.
Right, so I've looked into that a little bit, and you can do a front door and a back door for those emails. And I'm experimenting this coming month with mine. I went through the Amston app and signed up for an email bill. I don't know what's gonna happen. They said, well, you can sign up for it this way. I don't know if it'll still print a card.
Sure.
Or if it will only do email. So when you turn the system on, we hardly had any phone numbers. I'm increasing those in our billing system. I am gathering, I didn't get everybody's papers last month that I handed out for you to put your emails on. I've got a stack of those. There's not an easy spot to put those emails. There probably is, it's just not obvious. But, he said there's a button you have to flip to do email billing. And if there is an email, you can do it. Now, I've had a couple people say, not me,
Right.
I want my bill. And I've looked at the price difference too of a postcard to a stamp, and it's 17 cents more to mail, an envelope. And I talked to someone from Indiana that, does the sewer billing for Decatur, and they switched to standard letters to mail, instead of postcards, cause so many get lost. And in one day, I had 3 people come in and say they didn't get a bill just this last week. So, and it's like, I saw the bills, cause I went through every bill last month, because some of them had double billing, and I wanted to subtract and whatever. So I went through all 250 of those. So it's 17 cents more if we want to switch from postcards to a standard letter. It prints out just like this, and it has a line where they would cut to send that back. If they wanted to mail it or bring it in, however, so that's one way. And then, we would just have to flip that switch in the system for the emailing. And so we could do that. I'm thinking you can do, from what I understood, you can do some, like 50 people with email and the rest with postcards if you want.
I think if the email is a viable option, we give people the choice of what they want.
Right.
Because that way you're not forcing them to do something they don't wanna do, or if they don't have an email, that way they can decide which way they're gonna wanna do it. That way they decide how they're gonna get their bill. That way there's no question of, did I get one or didn't? You're choosing how you wanna get it. So I think if email is the viable way, which needs to be tested first.
Yeah, so do all of you get permission to do
I do.
your emails?
Yes.
I have your
Absolutely.
emails, so maybe I will just do councils and whatever.
And if it does work and then it turns off the paper bill, then we can post it publicly that people can go online and choose which way they wanna go. That way it's up to them and they control how they get their bill.
Mhm.
Would
And if they don't respond, it would just remain paper.
And if you don't respond to the, if you don't respond, it remains paper, correct?
You
Yeah.
wanna change
And,
calling or something.
you know, then if you have the email, then if you misplace your bill,
Right.
Tinker Miller.
Or maybe there's an option to do both.
I will ask.
If there's an option, maybe somebody wants an email in that because maybe they,
I'm sure there's a way to mark that email as important. So
that's what I'm saying, like you could mark it, when you email, you could mark it as urgent, important, and it'll keep it at the top of your email chain, no matter how many emails you get, so. I would check into an option to do both, if it's available.
Got a lot of homework.
Find out.
Yeah, and thanks for doing that for yourself, trying it on your own.
I think it'll be
Yeah, I
split
think-
50-50. I think half people want email and half the people want a bill.
Yeah.
Even that, even doing half of it would save how much money a month, even if you don't have to mail out 100 less water bills. I mean,
And then maybe you go up to the envelope.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I was just, there's so many council members that are new, and I think, just people in the community probably are interested too. I guess, I know there's a council training that you had mentioned, Kim, that I need to do, but I'm just wondering if it might be worthwhile having an informational meeting on the different funds and like how the village, like how certain things are paid out of different funds, and what monies go into those funds, like, I don't understand that and know that yet. And I don't know if that would be, I know we're having a lot of meetings, and I'm not trying to make an extra meeting, but I'm just wondering if that would be something to consider. Cause I think there's, you know, probably questions, like I said, I don't know all the monies, where they come in from, and then what funds they go to, and what the specifications are on.
so a
money.
monthly fiscal, a monthly fiscal report that says, here's the bills, here's how much it is, and here's where it comes from.
And not so much the month, just to like a general education of,
The sources of income
like
and
we
where they
talked
go.
last month about Rita, you know, what are those Rita funds used for, and
Right.
where do they go? I don't know, for me, I know what would be helpful, I
Yeah.
don't know if that would be something like if it would be an open, you know, obviously, I think there's people in the community that would be interested to know that as well, just more as an educational, thing, it's just something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, cause if you had a vetted list of what money came in and where it went to,
Right,
and then you could post that once a month publicly that says, here's the money that we took in and here's where it went. I mean, it doesn't have to be like in great detail, just this money came in and this is where we paid. Then you have, you know,
yeah, I'm just thinking more of it, like, in general, not a
Right.
specific month, like, I'm just thinking in general, like, we have all these different funds.
Well, I think,
You
yeah, I
know,
think
and what,
just some-
what feeds them, and, there was discussion, like, I guess I've been thinking about, where does money for street repairs come from? If we have street repair, is there a special fund? And what goes into provide the funds for that, like, those are things that I will be honest and say, I don't know, and I would love to know, and like I said, I know you had mentioned, and there is a council training you had mentioned that I need to get to do, but I don't know if it goes into that specifics. I can find it, Kim, it was in an email, one of the updates, I think, from Lisa, talked about a council training that you can do, I think it's online. I think, I'll look for the thing and let you know. So those are just a couple of thoughts that I had.
Good. Is that all?
I'm sorry, I thought you said couple.
Okay, Denise?
I still would be interested before we get the Rita and we finalize it and implement it and pass it. I still would be interested in looking at that credit for other counties that you're working in and see how some other villages or towns do that. Even if it's 0.25% credit, it still can make a difference for families. And you are being double taxed. you're working in one community and you're paying that tax and then you're paying the village. Not that the village doesn't deserve it, but I don't wanna pay any more tax than I have to. So, I still would like to do some more research on that, so.
Okay.
I would not like to just pass the legal without doing a little more research. So,
I agree, I think it's a double tax as well.
that's where I'm at.
I think we're getting taxed twice for the same thing, so.
A lot of other towns and villages do allow at least a partial credit, not a full credit, but a quarter of a
Wait,
percent or,
even if it was a quarter, it would still be,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Cause you are literally paying for the same thing twice.
Yep, so I still would like to pursue that, and I have been, so.
Interested to hear what you
That's it for me.
Alright, John?
I got nothing this time.
Corey?
I've thought about the idea since we have a new Facebook page, and recently I dropped the ball on putting it out there more ahead of time about this meeting, stuff like that. Just as a time thing. But what I've thought about is adding each council member as an admin to the page, not the account itself, not having access to the account, the Gmail and all that stuff, but just as an admin. So if you have something for parks where, you know, the different groups that you're in and all that stuff like that, like,
Right.
better than somebody
So
coming
they're
for
not
me
following
first,
you, sorry.
yes.
Hey,
And then, then at any given time, you know, if something comes up, you can post it. And then it's also really easy, cause if I add you on as an admin, it's through your own Facebook account. So you don't have to like log out or anything like that, so you can immediately go in there and post, switch back to your page, and then share to your page. So whatever you post within 10 seconds, you can also share it to your page. It's just another way of boosting information out.
Yeah.
I've also seen it brought up several times on Facebook about flyers. And I've had a few conversations this week about flyers. And I think it would be another way of getting information out to the people in town that either are not on social media, are not checking the website, or they're kind of just, you know, don't really talk to a lot of people in town. I know a lot of South Street side, you know, that side of town over there's not a lot of mingling. So like, if we had flyers that went around saying we had this event coming up, this council meeting, this BAPA meeting, whatever, and we could post them around town, whether it's in, you know, a waterproof pouch that you just swap out every month, or kind of just an event or something like that, or just a board somewhere, you know, somebody could walk by and see it. The people that go around town that don't really have access to, or just don't get on social media and websites and stuff. Just be another way of getting that information out to people. So I thought that was a really good idea, and I think we should do that too. Other than that,
And I mentioned it to him, and he said he thought it was a good idea. So since that page is up and running now, I'm gonna bring my equipment next meeting, and we'll go live on the village Facebook page starting the next meeting. So we'll set it up, whatever the best angle is, and I'll have the microphone that I'll put in the middle of the table, which will pick up everybody, so there won't be like an echo. And that way it'll be an official meeting, and then we can take that and we can share it to all of our pages if we want to. And then also at that point, he can then take that live off Facebook and post it to a village YouTube page, so people have more than one place. That way it's,
or I could do it on the website as well.
right, exactly. So we'll start doing that the next meeting. That way it'll be done every time on the official page, and be done with audio that people can clearly hear.
I've loved having the videos,
Right.
when there's trying, three little
Right.
ones at home couldn't make it and still.
But that
figure
eliminates her
it out.
having to do it.
Absolutely.
I would love to be able to watch these from home, so
Right,
thank you.
so I'm saying,
You're
right,
tired of seeing us.
right. So we're gonna start that the next meeting.
I like
Nice.
that.
You know, Corey, I'm thinking about the flyer. I honestly think the post office would probably be one of the best places to put something, because people, I think, in the village that get it delivered to their home. But I would say,
Yeah.
I would say 95% of the people in the village go to the post office to get their mail. So that would be, yeah, instead of having to go put them like everywhere, if we could just, I like that idea, but like I said, to me, the post office would be great, and they do have bulletin board in there.
We could put it at Everett's for a dog as well. Yeah. Laundromat, yeah. Yeah.
That it for you?
Some of us have to go farther than our.
Thank you.
Huh?
And it's not their choice, it's.
I'm not allowed to have a dog.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
From what I've been told.
Well, why is that?
Ask the government, don't ask us.
You're up.
Okay.
Make a motion to give Corey a mailbox.
My dad used to be a mail carrier, he might, he's actually got my question my kids right now. I'm gonna ask, so sorry. Okay, my turn?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't wanna add a whole lot, but just some updates before we get in with the new, playground, park, things, it's going pretty fast, it's pretty exciting. Kim and I met with a representative from Pinchura through Landscape Structures, and he came out and checked out what we're working with. Some concerns. Says priority 1 hazard, meaning there's a potential for serious injury. But we got out there, nothing was up to code. Said the swings, there were 6 in a bay, there should only be 3. There was exposed concrete, no wood can't have any wood, the ones that you think. They're all too close together, there's not enough distance between them. He said there's nothing that he would keep. My one concern, not one concern, but, if we know that these are not up to code, I don't want anyone to get hurt. I know when I go and take my kids, there's some of the things I'm like, this might be not my but some just go, the holders and have parents there with them.
Does this go back to the grant, where they match your funds or whatever?
And what now?
Like the last month you brought up,
Mm-hmm.
that there's a grant you can get, where they match like how much you have or something.
Yes, there's quite, I started making that's a new page, I tried to condense all my notes.
This guy was just an inspector.
Well,
Right.
he is with the playground equipment company, and so they make the pieces and work with you to design,
So he's a salesman? Cause when I'm here,
Yeah. yeah,
of course he's gonna say everything was condemned because he wants to sell you playground equipment.
well, we came to him wanting to get playground equipment.
But I'm saying it's his job to sell playground equipment.
Yeah.
He's not a third party inspector is what I'm saying.
Right, well, I'd be afraid to have an inspector come, I think, given,
Sometimes that's what's needed.
well, if you might want to, I don't know one, So I'm just concerned, I don't want anyone to get hurt, in the liability, if anyone were to get hurt, how does that work? I don't know.
Well, it'd be worth looking into. You brought up code, which means that there is a code, which means at some point that does need to be looked at, because if there's a liability that does come up and we're out of code.
Right.
I mean, off the top, can we even say when the last time there was a piece of equipment put in the park?
Be the, go through the tunnel. That's the-
I mean, like, in regards to something non-plastic, like swings, merry-go-round, jungle gym. That jungle gym was there 30 years ago,
I was there 50 years.
or 50 years ago. Whatever,
I mean,
a long
In
time.
our 40s, when we were young, in our
That was
40s.
it, yeah. I mean, I would just ask on that, I would say ask the solicitor the village liability at the park.
I said, we can probably get a hold of.
You know, just as a question, I mean, is it a
I'm
play?
sorry, I can't
Go ahead.
understand when there's 2 people.
I was just, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, we could probably get a hold of somebody within the county for park and recreation to see at least what these codes are, or, you know, where we stand as far as liability.
I mean, is the park a play at your own risk? Is that the assume? I mean, I'm asking the solicitor this, you know what I mean? What is the village liability at the park of people who go there to play on the equipment?
Could we put a sign that
Can we
says,
put a sign there that
"Play at your
says,
own risk"?
play at your own risk, we assume no liability? I mean, I'm not trying to say that it's dangerous to be there,
Right.
I'm just saying, do we need to put a sign there that says, use at your own liability, something, you know, whatever the verbiage is, because we're not there watching you, so if you're going there unsupervised,
Actually, now that I say that, I'm pretty sure where it's not a park, I have seen signs that says something along the lines of, we're not responsible for
Accident.
accidents.
I'm just saying, I think we need to ask the solicitor that, because if there needs to be a sign posted, and I think there might need to be a sign posted regardless of if it was all brand new equipment.
Right.
Because if you have a group of 10 kids go up there and they start fighting on a jungle gym and they all break their arm,
Kids playing things that
you know what I mean? Worst case scenario, but I'm saying there may need to be a sign there regardless of what is there,
Yes, they
period.
do.
So I think we're asking that, so, go ahead.
No, that's a great idea. Now, working with this company, and then I did reach out to Garmin Miller, trying to catch up to speed from last week. So I reached out to my old boss, Teresa Schnipke. She spearheaded the project to get a new playground at Miramore School and Camp Robin Rogers. It was a $2 million project for both of them. Miramore alone was 1.5, but it's huge, and they have a special like autism area, and it's really cool. I don't think we need anything. I don't think we could fit anything quite that expansive in our park. But meeting with Mike from Ventura, and I was able to talk with Ben Miller from Garmin this morning actually, so it was kind of exciting, and they would make sure that everything, the new stuff, it would be up to code, it would all be good, you know, that's kind of what they do. Now, Garmin Miller they're architectural design, they help with a lot of playgrounds. They came recommended by my former boss who did all this. I asked her for some tips and she sent me a whole bunch, which is awesome. Grants, things to look into, it was great. So they would come, I wanted to talk to you guys about it. The first step would be to come and like do a survey of the park. We really wanna make the park like, we just wanna pop a big crazy playground in there, you know, we want it to still feel like our park, you know, and be cohesive with the atmosphere of our park, and would make it more usable for all kids, of all ages, all abilities. It was brought up, that we add a stage to the park, but I kinda love it. I think it would be great. I'm sure they actually had some of their baby little booklet there, and I said, hey, I just, you know, giggles, how much would this one cost? I sent a picture of one I found I liked. That one would be like $400. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to figure that out somewhere else. I don't need more than a playground, I don't know. I don't know, maybe someone can build one? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how much that would cost, or.
Well, that's the thing, usually with the grants, you
Right.
have to use their people to,
So is that something we include in this fundraising thing, or we do the playground, then we look at that, but.
And that kind of goes back, Henry's idea too, is like, do we have funds specifically for it?
Right, and that was
If we knew like, and I think your idea would be great, cause I don't know either. But if we knew where those funds come from and where they go and all that, like, you could really dial in and pushing certain things. Because I know the grants, and they want you to use all their equipment, and like, some of the stuff is, you know, $20,000 to $50,000 for small things. When realistically you could get things that are, still up to code and have somebody else build them. Much better price.
Yeah.
You know, you just need somebody knowledgeable on how to build something structurally strong.
change subject, but I've been to a lot of playgrounds that are all wood playgrounds, so how is wood not allowed? I'm just
Yeah,
asking,
I
it
don't
just
know.
occurred to me,
Yeah.
there's a huge one in Michigan and it's all wood, and it's probably only about 5 years old, and the whole thing's wood.
Is it wood
Is it
looking,
Might be
or
state
is
codes
it?
too.
That's
It
probably
could
why.
be different states.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
And
I don't know
It's-
any of
it's
that
Might be
stuff.
the-
Yeah, I just wondered, yeah, like if it's no wood,
Right,
how it's a wooden playground.
right.
I just thought of that.
And I don't know
Yeah.
why you can't have wood. I
Maybe
mean,
it's
the
our
kids said
wood.
the
Yeah.
spinny thing was updated not too long ago.
Yeah, it's been in the last 5 years. What he did say about that was because of the swelling, the expansion and the shrinkage with the temperature changes and stuff, that
Okay.
opens opportunities for
Maybe it's the
pinching and
type of
fingers to get
Yeah,
stuck.
maybe it's the type of
Yeah.
wood.
Yeah, he did bring that up.
Yeah.
Great question.
Good check, I can't remember everything, so. Yeah, so then Garmin Miller, I thought too, when we brought up maybe updating the workplace, that would work out with the fundraising. And I know we've talked in the past about updating our cameras.
Yep.
At the park. There's ways to pull it all together if we don't have money elsewhere, maybe. You know, Donnie, you want that? I think it would be good.
You don't want me to, you don't want me to
I don't
discuss
know, yeah.
cameras at the park, that's probably not a good idea.
No, you were fine. So Garmin Miller would come in and they would do a survey, grading, all that kind of fun stuff.
Does that help
What
with-
about it?
Does it help gauge what grants you can get? Is it like an official survey that'll help gauge?
I'm not super sure. He did say a lot of towns, they were with a lot of towns, small towns, they're from Minster, but they're down in Coldwater too, they have offices in a few different places. I think they're working with Salina.
They do a lot of school, they've done,
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
done the architectural design for many of the new
Right,
school buildings,
right,
which includes
right.
all their play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would come in then too, after the survey, they do what they call it, a feasibility study, so that would kind of help determine what could be put where, so we're meeting all the codes and, so it just flows nice.
It would probably help, from what I understood, since I
Yeah.
was at that meeting.
Absolutely,
It would help, determine what grants you would apply for, because
Mhm.
you wouldn't apply for a $1 million
Right.
play set or
Right.
whatever, but it
Right.
would, some of them
Yeah.
have caps on
Right.
them or whatever, so he did
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
that a little bit
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
That if you had Garmin Miller or someone similar.
Right. Now, they do cost the money, he says some towns, and this might be where, hey, where are these pots of money that we have it where the town might cover that cost, or he said they're very flexible, so as we get fundraising money, and we use that to pay for them to come do this. That's an option too, I just didn't know if we had any funds. He said he'd be willing to come to a council meeting too, if we wanted him to.
Did he give like a cost on like the survey and the process?
Yeah, he said the survey would be 3,000 to 5,000, and then the feasibility study is 3,000 to 10,000. Now, from talking to him, I don't think it'd be altogether any more than 10, from what he was saying. So he's like, we work with people. I'm like, okay, great. So I don't know if that's anything we could do, and I said, well, when do you get paid? When do we pay you? How does this work? I don't know, so I'm just gonna ask, and it's like, sometimes you can break it up, do a little at the beginning, or when you're trying to get your fundraising flowing, do it then, or at the end, or there's, they're flexible, he said, so I like that.
That's enough.
So I don't know, just maybe something to think about, or think about that. He said with their company too, they've kind of, they bought out Access Engineering, and they help with grants at times, so that could be a good thing too. Yeah.
Garmin Miller bought out Access Engineering.
They absorb them. I don't know what the best word is.
Acquired,
Yes, somehow, I don't know.
merged,
Merged maybe, yeah,
bought out,
yeah,
owned,
yeah.
whatever you wanna, tossed out, take
They're
care of,
together
however you
now.
wanna, however you wanna put it. Conquered.
High coming the 14th? I'm not trying to put them off, I'm just thinking of our marathon meetings, I'm just gonna be real honest.
I was thinking,
I'm just gonna be.
Yeah, they start at 7:30.
Put him on, maybe we can put him on the next one,
Could
cause
you
that,
do like maybe the October?
October meeting, yeah, October.
Maybe, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
to
see.
kinda,
we
Yeah,
could do that.
I agree.
okay.
Good thinking.
Yeah. With that, I
Yeah.
do want to kind of roll out the fundraising and hey, we're gonna be doing this, like on social media, get people excited. I have a couple fundraisers ready to roll, but I don't wanna throw them all at the same time, you know? I have a plan. So that's good with everyone. And two, I wanna open, if anyone knows of anybody or any grants, you know, hey, my uncle owns a business and they love giving, you know, let me know, or if they want, you know, service club, a lot of those, they might want like a presentation. I'd be willing to go do a presentation, it's not my favorite thing,
I
but.
still think about t-shirts.
I came up with a design.
So what about, I'm sure you probably already thought about this, what about selling ad space on the back of the shirt? So my company, we do a lot of where we do donations and then you can either do just your name, X amount of dollars.
Okay.
Name and logo, X amount of dollars, name, logo, website, X amount of dollars, or a family could sponsor the t-shirts.
Okay.
But it's a good way to source them,
Yeah.
and then anything you make on the t-shirts profit,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I had
Maybe
just,
that's
I
all.
reached out to, Sisters Embroidery, Sisters Styles now in, Van Wert, and there's no upfront cost. We get $5 from every t-shirt sold, they run it for like a month.
How much are, like, and then when you get closer, like, the t-shirts, what you sell them for?
I think $20 more you've seen them from
So
other
they cost
fundraiser ones.
15 and you
I
get
think
5.
you get 5.
Cause like I know, I just did a big shirt order, like for Northwest, and they were $30, you know, the cost of the shirt's $8.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm just saying there might be places,
Yeah,
even that
yeah,
are
let me
still
know.
local,
I'll
I'm
look
not
into
saying to do
Yeah.
one of these online,
Yeah.
but like, there might be.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess I have a question, is the village allowed to do a fundraiser like that? Like, is the village allowed to do the fundraiser, or does it need to be an outside organization that does a fundraiser? Do you know what I mean? Like, can the village of Willshire sell t-shirts and make money from that? I don't know, and
Solicitor
see, that's
question.
that's kind of where all these, my question about knowing where money's in funds and,
That's a legal question.
I just don't know if the village is allowed to do that, but there are some organizations in town,
Right.
maybe they would be willing to
Yeah.
be the,
Right. See, when we
sponsor of it.
started it, it was more so through the Willshire Park Group
okay.
that we were doing this, so.
Mhm.
I looked at it in that
And
way.
maybe that's a separate enough
Mhm.
entity than the village
Right.
of Wilshire.
We're asking.
Good ideas, thanks for all your legwork.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just like that.
So you got?
Think
Alright.
Great ideas.
I was handed this paper today by a concerned citizen. My humble opinion, it is sad to see Facebook postings regarding information coming from the village council meetings in negativity and half-truths. The mayor and the council are required to review all matters that come before them, the good and the bad. And sometimes the good idea and the bad idea join and become a better idea. It's unnecessary to cause division when conversations are being held in order to grow and create a nice community for all residents. All are welcome to come to a council meeting and share concerns. The better way to handle concerns are communicating in person so all the information can be reviewed and ideas can be discussed. Anonymous.
That's the greatest letter I've ever read. I agree with all of that.
Yep.
Is that in the Dropbox or?
No, I'm saying delivered.
Oh, I wasn't trying to be nosy, I just wondered
Yep.
if it was
No.
literally anonymous.
Alright, we have a BPA and a zoning positions open. everything. And it's getting grass clippings and one day I took 3 Mahindra loads of grass from one yard to put in the dump truck. I don't know if that's something we need to,
It was originally just intended to be for storm cleanup,
you know,
and if you needed to do brush cleanup or something, you could ask for the gates to be open, like if you wanted to trim your own bushes or something. But that's how it was intended. It was nice of the previous ones to, you know, maybe spoil people, but there's nothing wrong with cracking back down on that. So in my opinion, that's how it was intended, that was how it was launched, and that was how it was put into the village. Also, you're spending, if we're paying somebody for that position, you're spending a lot of money for somebody to do that. And we're also picking up, aren't we picking up people that aren't even in the village? So, that are not water or sewer, so. I
it
say
should
we,
be on sewer at
I
least.
say we reel it in, that's how it was intended. You can talk to some of the older people in the village when it launched, that's how it was intended. I did double check that. Kendra could probably ask Sharon, and I asked, you know, I talked to my parents, and
That
that's how,
ordinance up and
yes,
review it.
that's how it was.
Okay. And then zoning, was wondering about 6 months was what we granted to trailers in town to either show improvement or show something done, and nothing has been done. So I think maybe that October 1st.
I think it was, building, they were supposed to initiate, they both said they were going to be building new construction homes, is how it was worded.
Okay.
So, is that, and it's October first,
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's October 1st.
Okay. And I still haven't heard any word for the CDBG grant.
Sorry, going back, so will they be notified by letters? And then what's the second step on that, just so I know too?
well, the one I don't know where to mail a letter to because there isn't a, it will have to be hand delivered.
Okay,
According to zoning rules, it's usually a letter and then a repeat letter.
okay,
And then if it's not, they don't comply, then it's to the courts.
okay, it's the same process as a violation of
You know
zoning.
what, I will just check with the solicitor
Okay.
on that too,
Okay,
because,
we wanna make sure we know
Yeah,
what we're doing.
yeah,
Sorry, Brad, I didn't mean to interrupt,
No,
I
that's
just wanna
fine,
make
that's
sure I
fine.
knew what
Yep.
was happening.
You could also, enlist the services of a deputy to deliver a certified letter by hand.
that's not as easy as it used to be.
I mean, you can request it, that's what I'm saying.
But they don't do it, like they used to. I'm gonna have to think about that, but we wanted to do that with some of the other stuff in
Mhm.
previous
Doesn't only
years.
fall under certain criterias that they do that.
It used to
And
be
at
very
certain
common.
levels,
Yeah.
at certain levels of the
Mhm.
process.
Yeah.
And I just,
And we're checking into
and
it,
I'll check on that too.
Think about that.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, no word yet on the money for that. We need to discuss how we wanna, we have for the most part discussed, but some villages or towns don't charge for sewer only, like on an empty lot, they don't have water. There's no use charging sewer. We have always charged sewer on an empty lot. Some people are paying and some aren't. So we have people that are way overdue and are $23,000+ deficit. And if we do away away with it, are we still gonna collect from those people? Because you have other people that've been paying all these years.
I would say that bill still needs to be paid. That's the only way to keep it fair for the people who have paid. I mean, moving forward, you could, you know, stop that bill if we decide to get rid of it, but I think bills in the past.
So, and that's, do we wanna keep on billing for sewage only?
So it would be a property that there was once water and sewer at that location, and now there's nothing there.
Yes, an empty lot.
But there would have had to been water and sewer there at one time.
I did a little survey in the last couple weeks, as I ran across stuff, and I've come up with about 10 that, aren't billed sewer. And some of them are right beside the same situation, whether it be an empty house, no one's living in it, one pays sewer with the water shut off, and the other one doesn't pay anything. And there's, in that 10, there are multiple that don't pay sewer, when very similar empty lot situations do.
So what would you do if they have water and their water shut off for non-payment? And would you not charge them sewer either? Cause they could still flush their toilet
Yeah.
with a bucket, so
Yeah,
that
you
would.
still have to charge them. Well, you got people with wells,
Well,
still
then-
got charged them sewage, or, yeah, sewage.
How would that be different?
Unless we limit it to a vacated lot.
Nothing on it?
There's nothing on it, and nobody lives there.
I would say limit it to a vacant lot, stop doing sewage on vacant lots, but any past due amount is still due, but going forward, no one on an empty lot would have sewage. That way, the people that already paid would not be left out in the cold, and the people that owed past due bill would still owe it.
How are you gonna police whether it's empty or someone comes and goes, or if there's a garage and someone's living in the garage?
We're talking about an empty lot,
So you mean no structure?
no structure. That way there's no interpretation. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. Unless you're putting a tent up.
Well, yeah, I can't tap into.
Right, so I think it's on an empty lot that the no sewage applies. I think if there's a structure there, it still needs to charge sewage. If there's not a structure there, then it does not. But regardless, any past due amounts are still due. Which keeps it fair across the board.
I researched with, the one that I referenced earlier that does the sewer for Decatur, and she, said that people that have their water shut off have to sign an affidavit that, there will not be any water used there for the sewer use. And some of them, I believe had houses, but like they were defunct houses.
Yeah, so I'm talking specifically about places where there is no structure. Cause then there's
You're
nothing.
saying that's not.
That's how I would word that, because then there's no, is someone there, are they not, is there,
Are they living in the
are
garage?
they living in the garage, are they not?
Shed?
If you
Yeah.
word that and limit that to no structure on the property, then there is no, there's no sewer, there's no guessing, is there not, is someone living there, is there not someone living there? So I think if you limit that to no sewage on a vacant lot, meaning
Structurally vacant.
structurally, yeah, word that as structurally vacant, then that solves the problem, as far as the sewage goes. That's my thought.
It'd be the easiest to patrol.
I don't know without seriously thinking about it, how you handle if there's a garage or an abandoned house. That would take a little more figuring out.
That's where the affidavit was.
That's what I'm saying, that would take more figuring out, but I think the empty lot is pretty self-explanatory. Because there's no room for interpretation there. If there's physically nothing there, there's no sewer.
So, for the household, there's houses here that are dilapidated that no one's been in for years. In theory, the water shut off, they would still be paying sewer on the properties, which would encourage people to either sell it
Yes.
or move it along because they're continually paying sewer.
If there is a structure on the property, I think the sewage continues.
Which could encourage them to move it along.
Which means you either pay your bill, you transfer it, or you tear it down. I mean, there's gotta be accountability, or this is gonna be a never-ending rabbit circle that goes on for decades. Like, at some point, it either needs to be transferred or torn down. I mean, that's why there's like 10 structures in Willshire that have been abandoned for years that just continue to accrue bills that nobody pays. And that hurts everybody. It hurts the taxpayer, it hurts the residents. That affects everyone who lives in Willshire when there's multiple houses that are accruing bills that nobody pays. Everybody loses when that happens. So, if there's a structure, you pay. That's my idea.
That makes the most sense.
And that's the situation that there's two houses beside each other, but one pays sewer and one doesn't. I mean, it's the exact same
And
situation.
how does that happen?
I don't know.
There neither is lived in, or neither house is
Neither
lived
is lived in. One is paying sewer and one isn't.
Then the one that's not paying sewer needs to start paying sewer, which means that I don't think you can backdate it.
No, it has to be now
It has,
forward.
it's not retroactive,
No.
Moving forward.
but moving forward, I think any building that gets sewer in Willshire, regardless of occupancy, gets a sewer bill.
You have to do
Yeah,
it.
no, you have to do that. I mean, somebody owns that property. So if you're not gonna be there, you can't just leave it dilapidated and abandoned for years, collecting debt. I mean, there's not a, and I'm not referencing other places, but Salina, Decatur, Van Wert, they would let that go for about 6 months and they would take over the house.
Yeah, someone did they sell it and then some people out.
Right,
They strap up
right,
the big thing.
right. So I think any house, any structure on land, occupied or not, gets a sewer bill.
Which may take the water superintendent some time to figure out, hey, this house isn't getting,
That's fine.
yeah, I mean,
But I mean, we have,
moving forward,
you
yeah.
have to start that
It may take
process
some homework.
because otherwise you're gonna continue to have multiple abandoned homes that accrue thousands of dollars of debt that the village pays for, but yet someone physically owns it, and just because they're not there, they're not paying the bill. Well, just because you're not there doesn't mean you don't owe the bill. If you don't want it, sell the property, tear it down, or move back in. I mean, that's only reasonable. I mean, that's 3 reasonable options. And if you can't do that, then you owe a bill. Or you continue to have the problem we have with abandoned homes where people don't pay bills because they know they can just move out and nobody's held accountable for it. And I'm sorry, but no other place you live, especially in a village inside city limits, is gonna let you have a dilapidated house with active water and sewage that you don't pay. It won't happen. I mean, it just won't. So, I'm sorry, maybe some don't agree, but if you have a structure on a property, you should pay sewage. I agree you shouldn't pay water if there's no water flowing, but you should pay sewage.
What if the person's in the nursing home and the water shut off? Is that,
It still has a structure on the property. I mean,
but they don't have to pay the water bill?
But no, I'm not, I'm strictly talking about sewage.
If the water's shut off.
The easy way to that is if they're in the hospital for an extended period of time, shut off the water. I mean, people do it all the time. People go to Florida for 6 months, they shut off their water in their house for 6 months. It's not uncommon. You know, I mean, it's just to a point where people in the community want the community cleaned up, then things have to happen in order for that to happen. Otherwise, you just continue to make the problem worse.
Well, I think we have to think of the sewer like we think of the cemetery. It's
Mhm.
not just if you're using it or not,
Right.
it's contributing to the maintenance, the
Right.
upkeep, the lines,
Right.
the system. It's perpetual care, whether you're using it or not. It's just all part of being in the community, so.
You know, and I would say, in my opinion, that the homes that are dilapidated and abandoned, that are not held accountable for the debts owed on the property, continue to do nothing about it because they're not being held accountable. So, I mean, you gotta draw the line in the sand somewhere, or you just continue to get run over.
So that'll have to be a motion, cause that'll be a change, right? Is that gonna have to be
I think that,
an ordinance change that's gonna take 3 readings?
that'd be an ordinance change.
Yeah.
You have to
So
make a
we're
motion.
changing
Amendments don't take 3 readings. If you're amending what's already created.
I never thought so, but remember when we had that visitor? Or was that Grigsby said that in an email? And that's not what I had always believed to be true.
If there's an ordinance out there on it now,
We always used to just amend them.
yeah, it's still got to be 3 readings.
That isn't how it was.
Correct.
So I can check with him.
Well, I think we need to check on that, because I think we need to change that.
Cause we used to just make it 002, 003, 004, and we would just change it at our meetings, but I'm about 90% sure that he said you can't do that, you have to have the 3 reads on an ordinance. I feel like that's what he said.
And again, I know we need to move on, but just to piggyback off that, just so people understand the gravity of what I'm trying to say, those dilapidated homes continue to get worse, which drives everybody's property value down. So if you're taking care of your area and you are not caring about a house there, whether you're there or not, if it's next to your property and it's getting in disrepair, your property value is going down, which is should be a genuine concern to anyone with that next to them.
For sure.
I just wanna make that clear, there is an actual reason for that
Right.
belief. It drives property value down,
Which affects all of us for
which
resale,
affects everybody's resale.
not just the neighbors.
So I think we need to look into amending that.
That's all I have. Except we have some,
I think I gave everyone a copy of that ordinance, cause you talked about doing some amending, so. Or restructuring.
yeah,
See, according to that though, the delinquency, you'd have to change that too. The grace period would go to the end of the month and then you'd have to put that in there too, right?
Well,
The
this-
10% penalty, that wouldn't
Number
really
4.
apply until the first of the
Yeah,
following
you
month.
would, all those not paid by the 20th, you would say, will accrue a 10% penalty the first of the following month.
Yeah, so you'd have to change that too.
And then there will be, service will be terminated on the 17th of the following month.
Following month,
Yeah, that needs to
maybe
be
you
changed.
can't terminate their sewer.
yeah.
No, we're talking about water.
Yeah,
Well,
That
that
is-
was just a one-time thing, wasn't it?
What's that?
That terminating service, Where are you?
No, I'm looking at it
Which
says
number?
service will be, number 4. It says service will be terminated on the last day of the month or at the earliest convenience. That needs to be changed to service will be terminated on the 17th of the following month if payment is not made. Number 4, second line.
Second line, okay.
Unless the bill is paid in full.
So you still gonna hand deliver that? No.
Correct. And then you would, the last line that says no delinquent account should be allowed to continue after 60 days from the original due date, delete that, because that doesn't apply.
Shouldn't be 60.
It doesn't apply at all,
No.
because if you're terminating service on the 17th, that doesn't apply. So that line can be deleted completely.
You'll pay by the next
Right.
month, you're.
Correct.
So if I'm revising this, I wanna make sure I understand it. So if you don't pay, if I didn't pay my bill by the 20th this month, and then it's not paid by the 1st of the next month, in
10%
September,
penalty.
so then there's a 14-day grace period for that.
But you would still get the 10% penalty as of the
You would
1st.
get that penalty, and then in that so the 14 days will start the very next month after you're late on the 20th,
That's correct.
or say August 20th, and then so they used to have work orders.
Mhm.
We haven't been using those, he fills them out when he does something, but usually it was initiated from BPA or council, but that hasn't been done for about a year.
What documentation in this process is crucial. Like, we have to know exact dates, exact times, everything has to be documented in a file for that house, so that if there's any question, we can go back and say, this was the due date, this was the penalty, this was the letter delivered, and this is the day we shut it off. And those timelines have to identically match, in my mind, what is in this writing. Because anybody that has any question about it, or if they get the water shut off, they're gonna reference this ordinance.
So, initially, I'm following Jim's train of thought, maybe I'm not, I don't know. What is being said is, the hand delivery or the posting on the door is gonna be happening every month they're delinquent.
That is correct.
And when they're delinquent to the 17th, they will be shut off.
That is correct.
So these will be hand delivered, which is now a requirement for the attorney every month.
Correct. That's the only way that
He's saying, he's not saying this is a one and done, he's saying this is what's required to shut off water. Every month.
I agree, and I'm saying that's what needs to be done.
Right, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yes, that's what needs to be done, and it's a bit more of a process, but that protects you legally and ethically from beginning to end, because you're following the same process every month, so there's no question
Right.
on the process, there's no interpretation of will it happen or won't it happen.
Right.
Everyone knows it's due on the 20th, has to be paid by the 1st or you get a penalty, and you have until the 17th or to the 16th, and if you don't pay it, your water gets shut off on the 17th. Every month, every time.
By then you'd have your next bill though, right?
The bill will go out on the 2nd.
Printed on the second.
Printed on the 2nd.
On the second.
So there's probably habitually, I have a list over there, but it got moved because Lisa was here and I apologize. I printed it out yesterday, so I was prepared today for all of the delinquencies. It's down to 4 pages instead of 14.
So there's where we do-
But how many times is your water gonna get shut off before you change how you pay your bill?
Right, well, I'm just telling you,
Because when we shut it-
habitually they don't
Because
pay.
when you turn it back on, turning it back on is in the order that the superintendent can get to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and there's extra fees. So how many times are you gonna pay an extra fee and then go 3 days without water.
Mhm.
Because failure to plan and pay on your part does not dictate an emergency on the water superintendent's
So
part.
the fees need changed too,
So the-
because,
So if your water gets shut off on the 17th, it may be the morning of the 19th before your water gets turned back on.
right,
And I'm sorry, but that is your problem. Because if you don't want that to happen, pay your bill. It's really that simple.
I'm guessing our return check fee's more than $35.
I don't think so.
No?
I think that's what it was.
That surprises me. And I also think that our reconnect amount, I think we look at those, I mean, if we're gonna redo this, now's the time to redo it.
I
This
think
would
that,
be the first reading then.
I think the first reconnect does not have a fee because things happen.
A lot of
But then who's gonna,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Say, well, this is the first time I've had one.
I got you,
you
okay.
do need to have a reconnect fee.
A reconnect fee, okay.
so your first, so it's $25 Monday through Friday,
And 50 on the weekend,
9 to 5.
9 to 5.
40 after 5.
40 after 5.
So I think that needs to
Number
go to
six.
$50, 40 is a little low.
Yeah.
And we'll need to put in there, someone must be home when water is turned on.
I think 75 on the weekends and I think $100 on holidays. The reason is, our water operator is only on call per needed on
Yeah.
holidays, so he probably will have to be called in special. And it would be at his discretion whether or not he does that. So, I think we do 25 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and you can afford $25, that's reasonable. 50 after 5, 75 on weekends, and 100 on holiday. I think John's correct, you break your bad habits.
Did you make that 60?
I think you have to put teeth in it for it to become effective.
75 after.
And it's not unreasonable
50 after
for someone to have to
5.
pay their bill.
50
Like, I
after
don't know why
5.
why it's such a big conflict here, like,
No, wait, hold on.
From 9 to 5.
9 to 5 is
25.
25.
yeah, 25, and then she said, 50
After 5.
after 5, 75 weekend, and 100 holiday.
It's kind of
I
weird
see,
because
this
the
is
money
changed.
is before the date.
Yeah.
Okay,
It almost should be flipped around.
Right, yeah.
there we go.
I'll
It
say
should be
the same
flipped
thing.
around, I think.
I'll double check the return check fee.
Okay, yeah, cause you usually tend to see like 50 or,
I think it was 35 on the one that we had, but it was $1,400 return check fee. But
part of that isn't just the fee though, it's the bookkeeping in, the bookkeeping out, the reconciliation of the books and time, so it's not just the fee.
And also, I was gonna add something to that too, that I think other people would maybe thought about before, we might have mentioned it before. Leaks do happen. So I think there needs to be something in there that states, if there is a special circumstance where a leak is found, then that situation would be evaluated on a per basis.
it's on the
It
back.
is.
It's in there already?
And they have to, yeah.
Okay, it's in there already,
There's a
okay.
policy
Alright,
on there,
there you
but
go.
read if
Thank
that's
you.
what you want.
Yeah,
That was something someone asked me.
yeah, okay, yeah, leakage, yeah, I see it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, cause if a leak does happen,
And they do,
then obviously we need to look at that, especially because, you know.
Yep.
So, okay, it's in there, just make sure.
Now, you're not meaning a leak because the water's turned back on,
No,
you
no, no,
mean
no.
out in the yard.
I meant
where
in
a
general,
pipe's
a leak,
Okay,
correct,
just clarifying,
yes,
but
yep.
that's what this is about, I
Yep,
believe, on the
yep.
back.
Okay, we're good then.
actually, our ordinance does say it can be, ordinance can be amended by council vote. Ordinance can be amended by council vote.
Yeah, it is section 8, last line,
It was written into the ordinance that can be amended by vote,
there we go.
so that was part of the original ordinance.
Somebody
Oh,
just-
that one, okay, I was looking for the last one.
Under the-
I don't know, it's a good question. I would say that we take between now and the next meeting for everyone to read this thoroughly
I agree.
and then make notes on everything we talked about, and then we can vote on the final wording of it at the next meeting.
I agree.
That way we're not doing it on the fly, and we can do it when it's like a,
I
Focus
can send
thing.
a copy with the modifications to you.
yeah,
as
the ones that we've already made, you could email to us, and then we can reread it, and then make new notes, and then that way the next meeting, we have educated thoughts, and we can make a final, approval of the actual reading.
Do you want BPA included on that email?
I think so, yeah, absolutely.
And I think.
If everybody else agrees with that.
And just to reiterate, you are getting 4 weeks till their water is shut off. They're getting almost 2 full weeks penalty free, 10.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that grace was not in here initially.
So what we're doing
even though
actually,
there are
it helps them
changes,
more.
People need to, we need to make sure
Yeah.
that this is understood, that we're actually giving much more extension in time.
Yes,
You know, so this doesn't come out that, oh my goodness, they're raising, shut-off fees are raising. You are getting almost a full month before your water is shut off.
well, I mean, yeah,
That's also puts it down to a
Okay.
T as to when it would be shut off.
right, but
So-
basically what we're saying is, your bill's due, you have up to the end of the month to pay it, then you get a penalty. And if you don't, we're gonna shut it off. You're not gonna have a 30-day due bill, you're not gonna have a 60-month past due bill. Basically what we're saying is, we're giving you 3.5 weeks to pay your bill, you know when it's due,
Shut off.
we're giving you a grace to the end of the month, so anyone, no matter when they get paid, can pay it. It happens the same way every month. You will get a letter, and your water will be shut off. That's
Any bill coming in after the 20th though, we'll have the 10% added.
not till after the first, just the other
Not till the
first.
first.
She'll have
September 1st.
They said
The
not
system
to
will-
put those
We're
on
giving
there.
the grace to the first, because that way, no matter when you get your paycheck in the month, because like we said, if you get your paycheck the 27th because your disability or whatever, you're automatically gonna be late every month.
Right.
So if we don't start the late fee till the 10th, to the first of the month, that encompasses everybody, but also literally gives everybody 3 full weeks to pay your bill without a penalty. So the amending actually helps everyone.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, and this might be another, I don't know if there's clarification needed or just publicity needed when this ordinance is passed, the changes, and maybe just explanation of this does give increased time.
I think we
Because I
rather,
think sometimes you hear, what you're gonna hear is the raising the rates for the shut off.
right,
to be
well, I think when
reconnected.
that's done and we get it finished, we type out a bulletin point of what changes it makes. Like, this is what changed, and then we print that, plus the new ordinance in all of the papers we do, plus on social media outlets, and possibly in a flyer around town. Because that way it outlines the changes and the ordinance. That way everyone can see it and understand it, because it'll get lost in here that we're actually giving you another week to pay your bill, and we're giving you a week without penalty. Basically, the change is, we're not letting you go 30 days without paying your bill. That's, at the bottom line, that's what it comes down to. So, we need to outline the better part of it, so that you can actually understand it, instead of all this, like she was saying, if you read that, you're gonna say, oh, they're increasing the reconnect fee. And that's, you know what I mean, so, I just think at the end, we need to post that everywhere.
Cause this ordinance says that your water will be shut off on the last day of the month. We're giving them 17 extra days from that
Yeah,
last.
so that'll change, did you already,
Do you know what I
I wrote
mean?
that down, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's just
Yeah.
a copy from what we reviewed
Right.
already.
But I'm saying, you're
But you
gonna
can-
amend that and then email it so we can make more notes.
Yes, absolutely.
But just, I mean, I think those are, things are important for us
Oh, I
to
agree.
make sure that they're
I agree.
understood by people.
It's giving people as much time and grace as you can, but still holding you accountable for a bill that you owe. I don't think how you can be more fair than that.
I agree.
So basically, you're thing, the bill is due at the end of each month.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty
Or
much.
14 days after that, we will have no water, because we will shut it off. So once this cycles through, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, maybe a year or less, there will be no bills that are over 30 days due.
It'll be rare.
After 6 months of doing this, you will either have no water or you will have no late bill. And that's how you fix that problem. I mean, it's like anything else. What happens if you don't pay your car? They repo it. What happens if you don't pay your mortgage? They foreclose on it. It's no different. It's a bill. You used it, you pay it. It's-
Your electric,
You don't pay your electric bill. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I didn't pay my electric bill for 90 days, I probably wouldn't come home to electricity. And they're not gonna send me a nice courteous, no late fee, no reconnect notice. They're gonna say, on this date, we're shutting it off, and guess what? They're gonna shut it off. And a $250 reconnect fee. So, I mean, we're being beyond reasonable, I think, from every angle.
It's a lot, I know.
It just has to happen.
I just am thankful we've broken this down into 2 meetings a month instead of 1 meeting that lasts till 12:30.
We're getting there now. Alright, so,
Do we need an executive session tonight?
Andy's around.
Do we need an executive session tonight?
I got some applications, just review them real quick.
You want a cookie?
No, I'm good, thank you though.
I'm gonna eat my finger.
I have to start bringing donuts or something since I'm here.
Well, we're gonna record it next week, or next month, so you won't have to.
Blood sugar is
By the way, for real.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I knew it was gonna be a.
Okay, are you going to into executive so I can,
I don't know yet.
Are you going into executive?
Yes.
okay, then I'm gonna shut this off and go out there.